joint statement, by the way, late tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, said the following. Attorney General Barr must give President Trump, his lawyers, must not give President Trump, his lawyers, or any staff any sneak preview, that's their phrase, sneak preview of Special Counsel Mueller's findings or evidence, and the White House must not be allowed to interfere in decisions about what parts of those findings or evidence are made public. The American people have a right to the truth. The watchword is transparency. Well, that was strong. Joining me right now is U.S. Congressman Joaquin Castro of Texas, who sits on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, you're a politician. I just want to know what you think of the political impact of this somewhat unsatisfactory bit of news tonight, which is nothing about collusion, really, except no indictments on collusion of the people around the president, nothing really on obstruction of justice. Just there's not going to be an interview of the president by the special counsel. What do you make of that set of news?
Yeah, I guess a few things, Chris. I mean, obviously, the country's been waiting for this report for a long time. It's owed to the American people. So I believe that the acting attorney general shouldn't make any changes to it, deletions, additions, should just let the American people see it for themselves and make their own decision. But there are basically three buckets here that we're talking about. Collusion, as you've been talking about, obstruction of justice, and then any kind of business crimes, money laundering, insurance fraud, anything like that. Let me deal with the last two. I think that in that report, I would suspect that if there are obstruction of justice findings, that Bob Mueller will say Congress has to deal with that part. Based on what I heard Michael Cohen talk about in his interviews with the Intelligence Committee, I believe that the Southern District is probably looking or is looking at some of Mr. Trump's business dealings. So that's those two buckets. The third one is the collusion question. And I can't say for sure what they found on that. Obviously, they're not going to go forward and do indictments of the president because it's DOJ policy or it's been DOJ policy in the past or any of the people around him. But we don't know whether that means they had no suspicion or no evidence of indictments and simply didn't think they had enough evidence to convict. We just don't know until we see the report.
What do you think about impeachment now? These last couple hours have changed a lot of views, I would expect. Does this make it more or less likely that the Congress will conduct a formal impeachment process, including perhaps indicting or rather subpoenaing Mr. Mueller himself and making him sit on the stand under oath and tell us everything he decided or didn't decide to do?
Well, I do think that the Congress and the American people should hear from Bob Mueller directly about the investigation, how he went about it, and so forth. I think the important piece for the Congress will be, or the most important piece, will be the obstruction of justice piece and what the Mueller report lays out in terms of its findings with respect to that.
How about under oath? Would you put the special counsel under oath?
Sure. And I suspect that as a lifelong, prosecutor and so forth, somebody that served in the Justice Department, I don't think that he would have a problem testifying under oath.
Do you hope that the special counsel will at some point in the next few days, either in the written report, which is now in the hands of the Attorney General, will clarify what he discovered about this president and the Russians?
Yeah, I hope so. I think everybody hopes so. Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives. Look, our elections were interfered with in 2016, and we know that there were Russian agents who were part of that. And a big question throughout the last 2 years or so has been whether and how much any Americans helped them achieve that. So, yes, I think everybody wants to know the answer to that.
Thank you so much, Congressman Joaquin Castro of Texas. Thank you, sir.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.